Hello. I'm Gale of Waterdeep. Apologies. Usually better at this. A bit shocked, but friend, it's a relief and a pleasure to make your acquaintance. By a Garon's lost nose, no! Anything you ask, I'll answer as honestly as I can. I'm an open book, requiring only your gentle hands to turn my pages. Sweet that you care enough to murder me. Mind if you don't? I once read a book that explained in some detail the effect a brush with danger has on one's desire for other forms of stimulation. Have you ever read anything on that subject? The pleasures I experienced in Mistra's embrace go far beyond the thrill of having one's tummy tickled. You think so little of me? At least you didn't compare me to a spotted dick.
Not too down market of an establishment for you, I hope, Gale.
Not at all. Why? Some of the finest artists and musicians began their career amidst stale beer and sticky floors. Oh, there is poetry to be found in even the dingiest of holes. Loss holds hands with grief, even among goblins.
Well, yeah. They was nasty old geezers. Wanted to cut 'em a raggedy new smile myself some days. Don't mean we can't enjoy putting the boot into this prick a stick, though.
Well, so much for my previous sentiment. A pleasant dream gives way to an even more pleasant reality. Wait. I'm not sure I like the look in your eyes. Not bad for a wizard who slept through his Kalashite lessons, eh?
That symbol on the collar. Gale, is this one yours?
It is! It's Tara! What's she doing all the way out here? Benefits of a wizard's education, you see. Of course, my considerable talent didn't hurt either. Oh, now that can't be comfortable. Especially for the corpses. Well, generosity is always a noble virtue, whether it be in the streets, by the charity box, or betwixt the sheets. Besides, given my propensity towards verbosity, surely can't be a surprise that I have a practiced tongue. There'll be no gorging of any sort until breakfast. Understood? You don't happen to be a cleric by any chance, do you? A doctor? Surgeon? Uncannily adroit with a knitting needle? Your hide, your choice. Not quite my cup of tea, though. God, that smell! Abattoir crossed with privy. We're sitting ducks among Sousa flowers, you and I. Quack.
So it'll be free of foul-smelling beasts, then?
Quite the opposite. Some monastic orders celebrated their pungency as proof of their devotion. To think is to stink, was the motto of one ill-fated brotherhood near Arm. Oh, but you meant beasts of the life-threatening variety. Yes, I'm sure it's teeming with those. Not to my taste, but I'll take a clown over some hack magician pulling peonies from his breeches.
Piss pot. You flirt. Now jump to it. Or it's up to the lift and straight to the shadows.
I think we've found two Dwergar who are going to get spit in their drinks. My words, my actions, my award-winning smile. Ah, Lanceport. Why, this might just be the highlight of our misadventures to date. Fast as in right now, I assume, rather than first light after some sleep fast. Correct. But pay attention to the trap part. Is back of the throat. More importantly, why are you soaked in her blood? It's clearly not your own.
Surely you won't begrudge me a mite of rest and repast before I get out with it?
Oh, for the love of...
We know you by your true name, Ma Glumpa.
A great deity needs a great name. Looks like you're off to a good start. Deal with it how? I hate to pull rank, but I was once Mistress Chosen. Destroying magic like this was my bread and butter. Oh, or did you wish to use it? I assure you, It's pointless. You'll have nothing more than a sore head and a very dissatisfied wizard to show for it. Oh, charming. I hope the Shadow Weave was to blame for that little outburst of unwarranted discourtesy. If you think you know best, go right ahead. By the Weave, you're practically rabid.
And you, keep your distance. No need for this to get messy.
Couldn't agree more. But if you use that knife, I will incinerate you. Ah, my savior. I'll be in quite a bind if not for your valiant tugging. Go on then. State your business with me from a safe distance. If it's all the same to you. Not in front of Tara, please. Address him. Call her a cat again, and I assure you, you'll fare no better in her estimations than she apparently fares in yours. I know you love me. Perhaps it was too much to expect you to love my cat as well. I mean, dress him. Thoroughly magical. Let's have at it.
As soon as you begin, you hear a zap of magic over from where Gale last was. With a scamper, he's gone from the room. And in his place is...
Hello. I'm here on behalf of Gale of Waterdeep to participate in this evening's activities. He would like me to assure you all that I am anatomically accurate. Oh, allow me to live dangerously while I still can. Their collection of rare tomes is unparalleled. I mean, Nethery sects are hardly commonplace, but I'm certain they'll have one or two stashed away.
Fireworks. A particularly gnomish field of art, no?
Indeed. More than simple craft. It's a way of life for some of them.
That may explain why most gnomes possess such short fuses.
Lae'zel, was that a joke? I can lend you a third left hand if you need one. She's, perhaps a little rough around the edges, but I suppose I can be smooth enough for two.
Let's see how the little pricks do when we strap fire to their legs.
Charming. Hell is truly where we make it. So, you made a cow drop out of the sky, which presumably killed it, and yet somehow you found out her name was Stephanie. I think I'll need a drink with the rest of that story. Oh, joy. Leftovers from Moonrise Towers. With my condition as volatile as it is, I fear any undue excitement may tip it over the edge, so to speak. The currents of weave around these rooms are absolutely fascinating. There's so much to explore.
We want both of you, silly, at the same time.
This is all a bit much for me. Back home in Waterdeep, I prefer to have Tara leave the room before I undress. Compose 1,000 stanzas ode titled A Gale of Thanks and Adulation. Goblins aren't known for their cleanliness, but by Mistress Mantle, this place is rotten. I see. Well, fine is fine. Nobody weeps because the weather is fine. No monarchs were overthrown because their ruling was fine. No artworks were burned because they were not masterpieces, but merely fine. Now, I believe this is the moment where I should get to my point, so to speak. Oh, I'm sure she had her reasons. The hand that feeds is the hand that's loved. It'll never leave your side now. I stand corrected. Was this your doing? I think that's quite bloody obvious. But why? What do you mean you don't remember? It just happened. Truly. I might as well go mount the gallows. If what is happening is what I think is happening, and it's because you licked a dead spider, the time might just have come when you and I should split ways. Oh, of course. Oh, sometimes I forget who I'm traveling with. Takes some getting used to, walking amongst peers again.
Flying machines, walking brains. It's all so absurd.
Oh, I do apologize. I meant to ask, are you studied in magic? Namely, are you a wizard? Which you are not.
Oh, man, it's good to be home. First round on who?
She who thirsts buys the drinks first.
You won't pin me down with a rhyme, wizard.
She who declines gets the worst of the wines. I'd rather tangle with a dragon than get tangled in all those limbs. I hope it has been made abundantly clear that to kill me is counterproductive. I'd thank you for bringing me back to life, but your ending it in the first place has me rather in two minds about you. A distillery. A little premature for us to start celebrating, I suppose?
It doesn't take much. The sigils fade, the circle's tainted magic dissolving harmlessly into the ether.
Not how I would have done it. All right. Let that anger out however you see fit. Ow! Perhaps I should have clarified? A helping hand? Anyone? Oh, come now. You're hardly in a position to cast judgment on that score, are you? Some room, then, if you please. Very funny. But as we all know, nymphs are sticklers when it comes to their bathing routines. You, my friend, haven't been near a fresh spring in a 10-day or more. Not that I don't appreciate your musk. Actually, rather like it. Well, it seems as good a time as any for me to stop babbling on. What, like a child? I feel I should warn you that the average goblin foot is host to some 24 toe-curling diseases.
The magic blinks away at your words.
Might I suggest that was a little too easy? Thank you. That's it? She annoyed you? If that was just cause for killing someone, I'd be dead 1,000 times over. One of Dribble's limbs. I always knew clowns were armless. Oh. Well, I hope I didn't make too much of an ass of myself just now. I'll see that there is indeed more to come. Won't betide anyone who tries to stop me. Nothing like the stench of human effluence to make you regret any and all prior life decisions. You are speaking to a mere projection of Gale. His appearance, his voice, and a certain measure of his personality, reconstituted in this case to play as emissary and usher. My lady, I bow to your boundless kindness.
You're an impressive fighter, Gale. You should consider a new name.
I take it you have some suggestions?
The Wizard Wonder. Or how about the Master of the Weave?
Tempting, but I think we might already have the maximum number of theatrical titles. A parasite shared is a parasite halved, or something to that effect. I'm rather alarmed to say I suddenly feel inexplicably jubilant. How ominously delightful. Oh, you have something more private in mind, no? No, don't tell me. I'll let my imagination fill in the gaps.
Imagine the glorious din of it all. The streaming banners, the charging knights, the piles of severed limbs and heads.
I'd rather not. It's all the same to you. Why, I've shared my heart with you. And I'd truly rather you didn't skewer it. Only that I find you quite irresistible. Even illuminated by such rotten light as this place produces. An apt metaphor. Though I hope it won't lose me some kisses. If you prefer to rely on beginner's luck than my myriad experiences in studying such magics, who am I to judge? Now, given my magical expertise is of limited use to you, was there something else you wanted to ask me about? Stop licking the damn thing! Fortunately, the Black Staff himself came to the rescue, hauling me back from the brink and straight into several months of writing lines. Or rather, finessing my autograph. I can hardly hold you responsible for what you do while unconscious. But still, I'll sleep with one eye open. Better safe than, well, dead. You truly are testing the patience of a man who could level a city if he wished, you know?
And Tara, mind?
I could never forget about you, Tara. You wouldn't let me.
Plenty to digest, after all. A good deal to stew over, if you will. Words ladled with import should be savoured so as to better absorb their meaning. Wouldn't you agree?
Elminster, as an expert on the subject, my dear lady, I'd like to point out that blowing oneself up is never the solution.
Shut your mouth, Hoon!
The dignified thing for me to say is no, of course not. Forthrightness before all. But honestly, yes. Would have rather you lied. I'm just a man. An imperfect one with needs, wants, and flaws by the bushel. Fragile vessel in which to place potentially world-ending power. Perhaps it would be better to not shake such a vessel. I am involved. I'm taking notes, making observations. I'll enjoy myself well enough from back here. You go on and do the rutting, or what have you.
Unless you got another reason to be here. Fexite.
Let's try to be diplomatic, shall we? You and I have very different definitions of right and wrong. Perhaps it was indeed wise to dissuade me from the crown of Carsus. A jumped-up wizard drunk on promises of power is not an enviable company.
What's that?
I suppose a lake of blood counts as rustic in this illithid hell. You do realize these things grow, do you not? Teeth and talons first. That vast burning wreckage behind you somewhat contradicts your story, but here you stand. So who am I to argue? Time was, I'd have given my right arm for a chance to speak with Mistra again. The left one, too. Maybe a knee.
Why must the dead three be so obvious and ugly with their decor? Blood and bones, bones and blood. Pointy nonsense. At least Shah had some panache.
As did Mistra's home on Elysium. Her ribbed vaults and buttresses created a magic entirely of their own. Not to mention her pleasure domes.
Pleasure dome.
It's a perfectly legitimate architectural feature. I've been known to shuffle a few knights around in my day. Well, I've never seen sleight of tongue quite like that before. You have a familiar twinkle in your touch. You're a wizard, aren't you? Minsk seems quite the, enthusiastic ally. Would all do well to remain on his good side. And out of the range of his fists. Surely you should be reserving your foot for more deserving foes. Wait, that's Arabella, is it not? Looks like she's got some new weave up her sleeve. Organs in vials. Is it a requirement of evil to enjoy pickling body parts? You're quite sure it wasn't a dream? Cheese partaken at a late hour can wreak havoc on the unconscious. A fine job you did back there. Not exactly how I would have approached it, but we all have our quirks when it comes to using magic. Some more than others.
Gale, you will perhaps be able to explain where Boo has not. What exactly is the difference between a devil and a demon?
Ah, fascinating question. One that boils down to which criteria we choose to apply. Are we speaking about the physiological, theological, etymological?
Just how to kill Cool.
Oh. Then for your purposes, they are exactly the same.
That sign above. This must be a brewery or distillery.
Smells like wanton days as a young scholar. Good back support, but a little too tyrannical for my tastes. That feeling of jubilance, it's gone. Oh, what a relief it is to return to a state of appropriate dread. A pity. I thought I sensed rapport, the promise of adventure, flutter of excitement right here in my breadbasket. Perhaps it was merely indigestion.
I suspect we define the word differently, but nonetheless.
I see the art of eloquence is alive and well. I'm awed, impressed, and a little bit scared of you right now.